Hey guys, my name is Donnie and welcome back to the channel. In the last video I was busy starting to put this rear section together, and as you can see I have now finished it. In this video I'm going to show you how I finished welding together all the pieces for this rear section. Now guys, there's still a couple of stuff that needs to happen, like rolling out the wheel arches and finishing off this spot here where the rear door goes, but most of the welding's been done. And I gotta tell you, it came out pretty damn good. It is looking very, very awesome. Now, some of the stuff that needs to happen to this part, because it's only an outer skin now, is that I'm gonna have to make the interior ribs and structurally just get it sound, because it's a bit wobbly at the moment. But I'm gonna be doing that after I've put it on the chassis and figured out where I'm going to be putting the ribs and the cross braces and so on. But guys, this is super exciting, and in this video I'm gonna show you guys, so you guys can watch just exactly how this whole piece was put together, with some complimentary royalty-free music and a lot of time lapse. So I hope you enjoyed, guys. Thanks for watching. And at the end of this video I'm going to be putting this part on the Jaguar, because I'm super excited and curious to see exactly what it's going to look like. Alrighty guys, time for an update. I have now welded all of these pieces together, and it's time for me to put that headrest here in its final resting place. And I've looked at many pictures and I tried to figure out exactly how it is supposed to be mounted on top of this aluminium. But what I did definitely see is that that piece goes on top of this aluminium. It's not welded and seamless like the rest of all of this, so it needs to go on top of this aluminium. And I've now spent some time to fit it very, very nicely and neatly on top of this piece over here. I had to trim off a little bit, but it's not a problem because it's going to be on the inside, and I'll work the inside a little bit. So what I've done now is I've also put a little I've welded a piece here in the front just to give it some strength that I'm going to be trimming off at a later stage. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to be gluing with epoxy that headrest onto this aluminium. I don't think or can't think of a better way to do it than that. I did see that some of the original Jaguars, it had been pop riveted on to this piece, but many of them don't seem to have anything like a pop rivet, so I'm going to be using epoxy and gluing it on there. And if I need to rivet it at a later stage, I can do that. And the epoxy that I'm going to be using is this. In South Africa we call it Pratley, and I'm using the Wonder Fix epoxy. And when I was building the McLaren, I actually phoned up these guys and asked which one would be suitable for gluing aluminium, and they recommended this epoxy glue. And the stuff that I had glued together on the McLaren is still glued together. It never came apart. It becomes one with the aluminium, so I'm going to be using that. I've now cleaned it up, and I'm going to put some epoxy in there and clamp it down and leave it overnight, and tomorrow morning we can see what it looks like. Alrighty guys, time for an update. I have now epoxy glued this headrest onto this aluminium body and left it overnight to cure, and it is now bonded on there forever and ever, and it came out pretty damn good. I like what it's looking like. Now the next step for me is to do the underside of this rear section, and I've got a bit of a problem. Is I cannot now weld everything together on the buck, because now that I have installed this headrest, I won't be able to remove this aluminium out of the buck without having to cut off that fiberglass piece of the headrest. So what I'm going to be doing now is I will be welding that part and this part and the other part in position, and then I'm going to mark where I need to weld it over here and cut it and trim it to where it needs to be. And then I'm going to remove this whole section, and I'm going to weld the bottom part onto the top part, and it will no longer be able to go onto the buck. So this is going to be the last time that this piece will be on the buck. From here on out it won't be able to fit on anymore, but that is fine, because then I can now manipulate it and hammer it and form it outside of the buck and make sure that it's nice and square. So in the next couple of seconds I'm going to be unceremoniously welding everything together, and then we can see what it looks like. Wow guys, it is looking so freaking good, man. Still got a lot of alignment and adjustment to do, but at least this is what it's going to look like on the chassis, and it is looking so freaking beautiful, pretty damn good. I just put it on here temporarily, so it's not exactly where it needs to be, but it's looking nice and square and I like it. But anyways guys, that's gonna be it for this video, and I'm excited where this is going. And also thank you guys for watching once again. I do really enjoy having you guys in my workshop every once a week. So thanks for joining me, and I'll see you guys next week. Cheers.